Depending on your point of view, it's either been a big success or an annoying hindrance that's destroying business. The King Street pilot project has been running now for 1 year. That, of course, involves reducing vehicular traffic along King between Bathurst and Jarvis, allowing for more streetcars. The latest numbers from the city are due out today, but in the past, they've claimed TTC streetcar ridership is up. Transit times have improved. But is it really as much a success as the city claims it is? Joining us now is U of T urban planning expert Matti Siemiatycki to talk a little bit more about it. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Good morning.
What's your initial thoughts on it 1 year in?
This project was certainly contentious when it was implemented, but I think a year on, overall, this project has been a success. Ridership is up 11%. Travel times have sped up for transit users. Motorists haven't experienced that much of a delay. It's been fairly minimal. And for the businesses, recent credit card transaction data shows that sales are about the same, even up a little bit on King Street. So overall, I think this project has been a success. And over the summer, the street was animated with a lot of public parks. We're starting to see people on that street. It's becoming more lively. I think this overall has been a success.
I think, and people look at it and they see travel times are reduced by I think it's 1.2 minutes on the streetcars. And they look and, well, that's not very much. It doesn't seem like that's saving time. Why is that good that we're seeing even that decrease?
In the most recent period from the summer, the travel times are actually much faster, 4 to 7 minutes faster in the busiest period. So this is a big improvement. It's also about reliability. It's that the trains come when they're scheduled to come, and you can the travel time is what you expect. So people can use the King streetcar now like a subway, that it's going to be reliable, it's going to be there when they expect it, and the trip is going to take about the amount of time that they expect it to. So you can really rely on that piece of infrastructure.
And so when you're talking about that 1 minute drop, that's averaged over the entire day then, right? Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's over the whole day. But the busiest period is the afternoon peak, and during that period we have seen the trip sped up much more.
And traffic, you say, volume-wise on the surrounding streets, it hasn't been impacted that much.
It's been about 1 to 2 minutes on average, which isn't insignificant, but it's fairly minimal. And we've also seen cycling up quite dramatically. So there are trade-offs with any type of project, but overall, the corridor is handling the traffic while making it much better for transit. Keep in mind, there's about 20,000 additional transit riders trips on that corridor. That's a lot of additional movement, and people are able to get in and out of the core much easier now. This is a major improvement for the city, and it came at fairly minimal cost. Think about how much it cost to build the Union Pearson Express to move less people than have been added just from this King Street pilot. So these are some significant improvements brought forward at a fairly affordable cost.
Now, there are businesses along there that say the numbers are down, that businesses, they've closed because of this. Is that part of a transition to the new, if it stays, is that part of the transition? Some businesses maybe weren't able to adapt to how the street looks now? Is that?
The street has undoubtedly changed. I think what you see with the credit card terminal data is that sales are up marginally, and I think there's more still to be done. In the summer, a lot of businesses applied for patios, so the street was more lively. The city put in public parks to try to draw people there, but I think this is still an area where improvements can be made. The city needs to enliven this street. We need to animate it. We need to have people there so that it feels like it's bustling. Now that the cars are off of that street, it does have a quieter feel to it. It doesn't crackle with activity, and I think that's the next step for the city, is to figure out, now that the cars aren't there, how do we animate this space and make sure that it's really a people place, a place that's active and busy and bustling.
What should they do with that? I mean, you've just mentioned all the things they've tried to get people down. What else would you like to see them do?
I mean, you could think of buskers, you could think of night markets, you could think of all sorts of arts programming, all sorts of activities that bring people to this space and support the local businesses. I would do a lot of consultation. Now that the controversy has died down a little bit, let's have a conversation with the local businesses and the local residents to figure out what they want there and how we're going to animate and use the new space that's been made available by the pilot project.
Now, from a transit point of view, it appears to be working, but politically, there's a lot of people not too happy with this. Is it going to survive, do you think?
I think it will. I think in the wards where it passes through, the councillors were re-elected. The mayor made this a signature project of his. He was re-elected with a strong majority. I think this project stays, and I think it's really a first step in how we improve transit in this region.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us.